Well, this is completely the wrong response to a year of misery for passengers in the north of England. They should not be facing such a price hike given the chaos that's been unleashed upon the rail network in recent months. So what should have happened is those fares should have been frozen for the year. And they're quite right to be very angry about that, because they've promised improved services, and sadly those improved services have not materialised. They're still suffering overcrowded, delayed and cancelled trains, and of course once that mayhem was unleashed in the May timetable, of course they would be quite right to be furious. So I'm afraid Mr Grayling needs to listen more carefully and respond in an appropriate way, and this certainly isn't it.
It seems grossly unfair in view of the fact that so many trains are cancelled without warning, leaving people stranded, and it seems like the rail companies just don't care.
Well, they've seen increases of 36%. Now, if you compare that level of increase with the increase in wages across the piece, there's a disparity between the two. So people are hard pressed as it is, and some people of course have had no wage increase at all. Some people will have effectively gone backwards. In some respects, some instances, it's over 10% of their income to travel to and from work, and that doesn't compare with much lower single-digit percentages in France and elsewhere. So they will look at this and be really angry, and quite right to be so.
It seems a bit unfair to raise rail fares significantly in excess of rate of inflation.
Yeah.
But obviously improvements need to be made in places, and so it's understandable that that will inevitably mean higher increases on some occasions.
You'll not achieve that growth unless you can deliver the very thing that a railway is supposed to deliver, which is its timetable. That is its offer. And if you cannot consistently deliver upon it, you will never achieve the growth that we all know is available to us in the north.
It's a terrible service most of the time, sadly. I travel a lot in Europe, and the trains just, you can't compare. They're so much better and cheaper.
We've never really had a problem, but we often find that they're very busy. Do you know, if you've got kids and trying to sit down, but generally in the holidays they're very reliable and they're on time, and we've found them okay.
It's nice when it works, it's great.
It's just indicative of the fragmented nature of the railway. The fact that there were so many players, they couldn't come to a consistent and singular view about the new timetable. And that really tells you about the absence of a guiding mind for the railway. It just doesn't exist. We've lost an awful lot of knowledge and expertise from the rail industry, and we should learn the lesson about that, because the timetable for growing places is exactly the issue that will deliver upon those ambitions. The Pacers have been overdue a visit to the scrapyard for many years, and the stories of those journeys are legendary. They're not really trains, they're actually adapted buses, but for people to have to tolerate them for even longer than they were first promised is just beyond the pale, quite frankly.
I understand trains have got to pay for themselves here rather than being subsidised. I don't agree with that, but that's the way it is. But you just don't get a service.
Despite report after report using government figures telling the government that there's a huge disparity in investment as between London and the south east and the north of England, Chris Grayling is in denial. But there is that disparity, and if we are truly wanting to rebalance our economy, we've got to put that right.